an angle that I could never get that little 1025R to be on before. So I probably won't mow anything that steep, but looking for stability with these duals, we got what we wanted. So hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like if you do. We love your comments, and we'd love it if you subscribe. Have a great day and be safe. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today we've got two 1025R John Deere subcompact tractors, and we're going to add duals to this one. So this 1025R has got the 60-inch mower deck. It does not have the front loader, and it has the stock tires and width, which is right at 47.2 inches. This John Deere 1025R has the front end loader. It has a 60-inch mower deck that I do not use, and I've got wheel spacers on it along with the external weights. Both of the tractors have ballast in the tires, rear tires, and this one then has a wheelbase or a width of 50.2 inches. So it's got 1.5-inch wheel spacers, which allow the stock 60-inch mower deck to work underneath it. I just found that I didn't really like that mower deck. So when I first got this subcontract tractor, I was mowing some fairly hilly ground, but it was only about 5 acres. And I used the mower deck, but I started having stability issues, mostly because of the weight of the front end loader. So the first thing I did was I bought it with ballast in the tires, and that added about 70 pounds total. And then I decided to buy wheel spacers, and the wheel spacers helped a lot. They were 1.5-inch wheel spacers, so I increased the size to 3 inches wider than stock. And what I found was that was the widest you could go and still use the stock mower deck. The more I mowed with that mower deck, the more I realized that it wasn't really helping me a whole lot, and I got much better results with a finish mower off the back. On our hilly property that we had, about 5 acres I was mowing, I found that even with the wheel spacers, there were a couple places where this tractor felt a little tipsy. And so therefore I bought these wheel weights and added them. And then honestly, on that property, the way this tractor set up, I never had any issues with any kind of tippiness or stability issues. This 1025R, using the 60-inch mower deck, not having a front end loader, and with loaded tires with the rim guard in it, this tractor has never had an issue on stability. Now, we don't use it on like the sides of mountains or anything, but any normal hill you'll find in a normal yard, this tractor has no issues with stability. With the mower deck, I believe it almost works like wheelie bars to a certain extent. And then also you don't have all the extra weight up high from the front end loader. So this subcompact tractor is primarily used to mow grass, and it does a really good job with that. This subcompact tractor is used much more as a tractor for general functions. So with the front end loader on it, we do use it to mow grass with the 6-foot finish mower behind it. But on this property, with that hill right behind me, this tractor, if that grass is at all wet, I've come close to turning this tractor on its side, which is something that I am very against doing. Just not something I want to experience. So here's a view from the back of these tractors, and on the left is the stock width, and on the right are the 1.5-inch wheel spacers on each wheel, so a 3-inch wider footprint. Here's probably where you can see the width the most in the difference, and so this is the 3-inch wider footprint, and this is the stock width. So both of these tractors can still be used with the 60-inch mower deck. The little bogey wheel in the back will clear, but the one on the right, 3 inches wider or 1.5-inch spacers, are the widest spacers you can use and still use this lower mower deck. By adding duals, we will not be able to use the mower deck on that 1025R at all anymore. So this is why you're limited on your width. That bogey wheel, and also the one on the other side, will be directly in the way of that tire. And you can see that there's just over 1.5 inches of clearance, and that's why we can add 1.5 inch wheel spacer. Now, just as a disclaimer, a lot of people will tell you not to do anything to widen your tractor or add extra weights. And they say that because they say it can tear up the axle. And I don't doubt that, but I've also seen people who use the extra width and also duals with no issues on these tractors. So we're going to try it out. So here's where my tractor starts feeling pretty unstable. And of course, I'm using the 6-foot finish mower on the back of it, where this just has the mower deck. But this tractor actually feels more stable than mine does, even with the wheel spacers and the extra tire weights on it. And I contribute that to the fact that it doesn't have the front end loader, which puts a lot of weight up high. And then also this mower deck on this mower adds weight down low, which helps center of gravity. And then also the width of it kind of acts like, I believe, wheelie bars. So you see it's starting to get pretty tilty, and I'm sure that the hill doesn't look as steep on camera as it feels, but I can mow this yard with this tractor in this configuration with more confidence than I can with mine with the rear mower and the extra width. Okay, so here's my tractor on this hill, and again, I mow this with a 6-foot finish mower on the back. And this tractor is not very stable on this amount of incline. And if this grass is at all wet, I've got, I know where I can drive through here and I can make it without getting too much in danger of tipping. The problem is when this grass is wet, this tractor is slid to a point that it basically gets right on the verge of tipping, and it's almost impossible to get it jockeyed around to get it out of that situation. So I'm going to add duals to this tractor. Okay, so I'm going to put these duals on here, and these tires are not loaded, and the ones that are loaded. And what I've noticed is these tires, even though these are both 12-inch tires, are the exact same size, these look a little bit taller. But I'm going to put them on, and I think that when the weight gets on here that it will be evenly distributed on the axle. So, roll this over here. I've got these bolt-on weights on these tires. Take these off. Okay, so there is our add-on weight. Okay, so this add-on wheel weight is 50 pounds, and what I think that is just concrete in that plastic form. But we'll set these aside. I think I can still use them if I decide to, but a lot of people say that with duals, it adds a lot of stress to your axle, and so they actually recommend loading the inside tire but not the outside tire, which is what we've got. This was a loaded tire and the 50 pounds extra. If I want to, because I do think they look cool, I might put the 50 pounds on the outside of these, but I'm going to start off without them. So my goal is to not break my axle. Okay, so we'll pull the 50 pound weight off this side. There, it's loosened up. These have been on here for about probably 4 years. Okay, and there's the second wheel weight off. Now what I'm going to do is jack this tractor up, and I'm actually going to switch the right wheel to the left side and the left wheel to the right side so that I have my valve stems on my interior duals sitting to the inside of the tractor, so I can always get to that valve stem to check air pressures and add or subtract. I'm going to jack up right underneath this transmission on this tractor. I'm going to use a block of wood. Because I do not want to damage that transmission case. Okay, that ought to be safe. Let's take this wheel off. And I put the rolling jack underneath this to make sure I can lift it up to get it back on, since it is weighted. Okay, that's definitely a weird feeling rolling that tire around while it's full of fluid. You can see the wheel spacer here. It's an 1.5 inch wheel spacer, which is going to work out perfectly for changing these tires around. So you can see the offset. You can see the offset in these tires. So it's deeper on the outside. It has air valve than it is on the backside. And if I just put that other dual on here, you'd never be able to get to this valve core. So I'm going to put this tire on the right and have the valve core on the inside of the tractor, and then put the other dual on normally with the valve stem on the outside. Okay, it's much easier to show you on this one that's lighter. But with that offset being all the way in there, when you switch sides on that tractor, right, if the rim is about here, or the bolting surface, okay, and I put this tire on the inside, it's going to get closer into the tractor, which is going to narrow the wheelbase. It's going to move it in farther. Having this 1.5 inch spacer is going to have it closer to the stock width with our first inside dual. So I'm going to leave the spacers on and just switch the tires. Okay, using this floor jack to put this tire up is really a good time saver and back saver. Okay, I'll snug these down, and I'll get a torque wrench and make sure the torque's correct. Which on this tractor, this year of it, the book said 89 foot-pounds. I heard the later one say 70. So probably if you're in that range, your wheel won't fall off. That's tight enough to set it back on the ground for the rest of this. Okay, hopefully you can see that the air valve is now on the inside of this tractor, and the wheelbase is pretty close to back to where it would be stock. The spacers, the 1.5 inch spacers, make up for the offset. If you didn't have wheel spacers, your tires would be 1.5 inches closer to like this pin. So I'm glad I've got the wheel spacers. Now what I'm going to use is a kit I bought from Miller Tire to mount the duals. Okay, so we've got this kit from Miller Tire, and it's basically probably some kind of plastic rings, spacers. We've got 8 carriage bolts, 8 big flat washers, and 8 nuts. I saw this one talked about on Good Works Tractor Company's channel, and he has a discount code, which I used. There we go, 89 foot-pounds. Let's tighten it up. 89. 89. 89. 89. And finally, 89. Okay, so that tire's properly torqued. You have to trust me, I'll do the other side the same. Okay, so I've got this jacked up just enough that I can rotate the wheel if I need to. And I'll put the 4 carriage bolts in. Okay, there's our 4 carriage bolts. There's our plastic ring, which sits right inside the rim. And here we have our other tire. So we have our spacer in, and I'm just working the carriage bolts in. Okay. Okay, so I've got 2 of the carriage bolts in place. I've got my spacer in place. And you can see these tires are just slightly different tread patterns, but I think they're going to work out just fine. You can see the gap is larger at the top now than at the bottom, so I'll readjust that. Okay, let's go up a little higher. It has to be on that rim and then on the other rim. And just trying to line those out is not super easy, but I think we'll get it. It's the first time I've done one. Okay. Okay, I'm real happy with where that spacer's on the inside dual. The outside one needs to move just a little bit. I think what it's doing is every time it rotates, it slides a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so if I can tighten it up right there, that should be good. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Slow it down a little bit evenly. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Looks like it's spinning pretty straight.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, well, there's one set of duals. And if I wanted to, I could take that, this 50-pound wheel weight, and get some rod couplings and put that on there, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Other than it looks cool. Might be a little more stress on the axle than I want. Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay, so now that I'm happy with where the spacers are at, looks like it's the same all the way around. So the other side should be a little quicker to do. Okay, so here's it spinning. Like I said, I'm assuming all that tape will come off first little bit I drive. I think it's perfect. So we've got the jack stands out. We'll let it down easily. And actually easily, not the way some of our YouTubers that we watch do. Well, that's pretty badass looking.
Mm-hmm. I like it. It looks pretty neat.
So there is our new John Deere 1025R footprint. I think it'll be a little more stable on hills. Hey everybody, thanks a lot for watching our John Deere 1025R dually video. We're loving the stability that we're getting now out of that tractor and the way we use it and the hilly terrain we've got. That tractor is a completely different monster. And the wheelbase on that went from 48 inches and we've now got a full 74-inch wheelbase, and that tractor is stable. So those wheel adapter kit came from Miller Tire in Ohio, and it was $170. And a set of dual wheels for that tractor was $500. I got them off Amazon. So for that investment, I'm going to say that you almost can't tip that tractor over, or not without intentionally doing it anyway. And that's a whole lot better than coming back going like, whoo, got by with that one. So your mileage may vary. Appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Be safe.